Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody are doing fine. So the topic that I am going to discuss today is viral hepatitis. So coming to the viral hepatitis. So what is this viral hepatitis? So viral hepatitis, it is a systemic disease with primary inflammation of liver by one of the heterogeneous group of hepatotropic viruses. So what is the definition? So it is defined as a hepatitis of systemic disease with primary inflammation of liver by any one of heterogeneous group of hepatotropic viruses. Means this virus hepatitis is mainly caused to the liver. It is the inflammation of the liver by half dozen of viruses, because there are so many types of hepatitis which are identified. They include hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, and even G is also included. So the most common cause of viral hepatitis are 5 unrelated heterotropic viruses. They are hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E. In addition to the normal hepatitis viruses, other viruses are also causing the liver inflammation. Other viruses are also causing the liver inflammation. What are those other viruses which are causing this liver inflammation? Means they are herpes simplex virus, cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, and yellow fever. Along with this hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C, D, and E, the other viruses which are causing the inflammation of liver includes herpes simplex, cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, and yellow fever. So these are the types of viruses which are identified till now. Hepatitis A, which is from Picornaviridae family. It was identified in the year 1973, and hepatitis B, which is also known as HBV, it is identified in Hepadnaviridae family. It was identified in 1970. In hepatitis C, which is also known as HCV, Flaviviridae family, it was identified in the year 1988, and hepatitis D, which is known as HDV, and the exact family is unknown, and it was identified in the year 1977. And hepatitis C, it is also known as HCV. It was belonging to the family Calciviridae and Hepiviridae. And hepatitis F, it is not separate entity, but it is a mutant of hepatitis B virus and hepatitis G in the year 1995. So how many types of viruses are identified? Hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So these are the types of viruses. I am going to discuss about this in detail in the coming classes. So we'll see what is this viral hepatitis in brief. So coming to the agent of this hepatitis virus, it was HAV, hepatitis A virus. It was an RNA virus and it has no envelope. The route of transmission is mainly through fecal or oral route, and the most affected persons are the children. Carrier state is very nil in this type of virus, and incubation period is about 10 to 50 days. On an average, it will be like 25 to 30 days, and there is no chronic infection. Systemic prophylaxis is IG and vaccine. Coming to the hepatitis B, the agent factor is hepatitis B virus, which is it was a DNA virus and it has an envelope. So, and the route of transmission is parenteral, vertical, and sexual route. And coming to the age, any age group can be affected, and the carrier state in this disease is very common. Incubation period is about 50 to 180 days. On an average, it will be like 60 to 90 days. And chronic infection, yes, it is causing chronic infection. And specific prophylaxis is mainly immunoglobulins and vaccine. Coming to the viral hepatitis C, the agent factor is hepatitis C virus. It is an RNA virus and it has an envelope. Main route of transmission is parenteral. It is mainly occurring in adults and carrier state is present. Incubation period will be like 40 to 120 days. And chronic infection, yes, there is chronic infection and there is no specific prophylaxis. Coming to the viral hepatitis D, so it was an RNA virus and it has the envelope from HBV virus. It will show because it is a mutant of this hepatitis B virus, so there is envelope from HBV, and the route is parenteral. Any age can be affected. Carrier state is nil, but only with HBV. Incubation period is like 2 to 12 weeks, and yes, there is chronic infection, and specific prophylaxis is HBV vaccine. Coming to the viral hepatitis E, it was the agent factor is hepatitis E virus, and it was also an RNA virus, and it is also having envelope. And coming to the route of transmission, it was mainly through fecal route, and the affected persons are young adults, and carrier state is nil. Incubation period is about 2 to 9 weeks, and chronic infection is no, there is no chronic infection. And coming to this specific prophylaxis, there is no specific prophylaxis. So in brief, I have said regarding this hepatitis A, B, C, D and E. So we'll discuss deeply in the coming classes. So mainly A, B, C of viral hepatitis are the major viruses which are causing the inflammation, and damage to the liver, and these are the more number of types which are occurring in the patients currently. Okay, coming to the main topic, we are going to discuss hepatitis A today. We are going to discuss hepatitis A. So this hepatitis A, it is also known as infectious hepatitis or epidemic jaundice. It is also known as infectious hepatitis or epidemic jaundice. So hepatitis A, formerly known as infectious hepatitis or epidemic jaundice. It is an acute infectious disease. It is mainly caused by the hepatitis A virus, which is also known as HAV. So this is the structure of hepatitis A virus. As I said in the earlier, it was a picorna virus. And its size is about 27 nanometers. It is having RNA strands. It is having RNA strands. So coming to these non-specific symptoms, which are associated with this disease hepatitis A are fever, chills, headache, fatigue, generalized weakness and aches and pains. It is followed by anorexia, nausea, vomiting, dark urine and jaundice. So all these are the disease heralded by non-specific symptoms. So all these symptoms are non-specific symptoms of this hepatitis A virus. So the disease spectrum is characterized by occurrence of numerous subclinical or asymptomatic cases. So how the disease spectrum is characterized? It is characterized by number of occurrence of numerous or subclinical or asymptomatic cases. So there will be patients who are affected with this disease hepatitis A, but you cannot find out whether the patient is having the disease or not. Why? Because they may be in the subclinical state, or sometimes they will be asymptomatic. So in such conditions, it was very hard to identify. The disease is begin with complete recovery in several weeks. So once the disease is occurred, there is chance for complete recovery within several weeks. So coming to the epidemiological determinants. What is the agent factor here? What is the causative agent? The causative agent is hepatitis A virus, and it is an enterovirus of Picornaviridae family. To which family it belongs? Hepatitis A belongs to the family Picornaviridae. It multiplies only in hepatocyte. That means it is multiplying only in the liver. Coming to the resistance of this disease. The virus is fairly resistant to heat and chemicals. Means it can withhold heat as well as the chemicals. So it withstands heating to 60 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. So even though if you are heating the object or any instrument for 60 degrees Celsius, at least for 1 hour, the organism will not die. It has the capacity to survive for even more higher temperatures such as 60 degrees Celsius for 1 hour also, and it is not affected by chlorine in doses usually employed for chlorination. Even though you are chlorinating the water also, it is not effective. Formalin is stated to be effective disinfectant. Means if you are using this chlorine also, there is no effective there is no effect for the virus. It is not dying in those situations, but this formalin is stated to be an effective disinfectant. So whenever you want to disinfect the surface with hepatitis A, if you are using chlorine also, there is no use. The only disinfectant which is effective is formalin. The virus is inactivated by ultraviolet rays and by boiling for 5 minutes or autoclaving. So it can withstand the heat for 60 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. But whenever you are keeping the virus in ultraviolet rays, or whenever you are boiling beyond 60 degrees Celsius for more than 5 minutes, or whenever you are doing the autoclaving, the virus will be getting inactivated. It is not dying, but it is getting inactivated, so that it is losing the capacity to infect the person. So coming to the reservoir of infection, what is the reservoir of infection here? The human cases are only the reservoir of infection. The human cases are only the what is the reservoir of infection? The human cases are the only reservoir of infection. Coming to the period of infectivity, so as I've shown you in the previous slide, what is the period of infectivity here? So the risk of transmitting this hepatitis A virus is greatest from 2 weeks before to 1 week after the onset of jaundice. Means, so most of the cases are here subclinical or asymptomatic, but the patients who are exhibiting the symptoms such as jaundice and other type of symptoms which are associated with this disease, so before the onset of the symptoms, means before the appearance of this symptom jaundice, the person is capable of transmitting the disease at least for 2 weeks before the onset of disease, and once the disease appearing, he is able to transmit the disease up to 1 week. That means total 3 weeks he is able to transmit the disease. Again I am saying, the patient will remain contagious like before the appearance of symptoms such as jaundice. So 2 weeks before the appearance of this jaundice, and after jaundice has appeared, again after 1 week, the patient is capable of transmitting the disease from one person to another person. That means total 3 weeks he is capable of disease transmission. Coming to the infective material. So what is the infective material? So you guys, I have already said regarding the source of infection. What is the source of infection here? The case of this hepatitis A virus is the source of infection here. So mainly the feces, serum and other body fluids from the patient. Means, so the patient may be in subclinical state, but he is before the appearance of this jaundice. Once that jaundice is tend to appear, means that the person is capable of transmitting before the 2 weeks of appearance of this first symptom. So what is happening? The feces which are excreted from the patient, the serum which is coming from the patient and other body fluids, all these are capable of infecting the other persons. Coming to the virus excretion. HIV is excreted in the feces for about 2 weeks before the onset of jaundice and up to 2 weeks thereafter. So what is the period of infectivity there? 2 weeks before the onset of jaundice and 1 week after the appearance of this jaundice. But coming to the virus excretion, the person can excrete the virus before the two weeks of appearance of jaundice, and once the jaundice has appeared, he is again excreting the virus for at least 2 weeks thereafter. The virus may be also excreted in the urine. So how the virus is excreting? The main ways are through fecal matter and the other ways is through urine. So how many days? At least for 4 weeks before the onset of symptoms and after the onset of symptoms. That means 2 weeks before the onset of symptoms and 2 weeks after the onset of symptoms. Coming to the host factors. What are the host factors? So coming to the age, infection with HIV is more frequent in children than adults. So it is mainly pertaining to the children compared to the adult. However, people from all ages are being infected, and if they are susceptible. So if any person is immunocompromised, and if any person is exposed to this virus, so they are in a situation that they can develop this virus, they can develop this disease. So in young children, infections tend to be mild or subclinical. The severity increases with the age. So what is happening in the young children? So in young children, the virus is mainly in mild state or in subclinical state, and it will increase its severity along with the age. In India, by the age of 10 years, 90% of healthy persons have serological evidence of HAV infection. So what they are saying, in India, about 10 years, by the age of 10 years, about 90% of the population, means 90% of the children, they are exhibiting the serological evidence of HAV infection, means they are being exposed to the disease, and those traces are found in their serological examination. So this is the age. Coming to the sex, both sexes are equally susceptible. Both sexes, both male and female, are equally susceptible for this disease. And coming to the immunity after attack probably lasts for life. So once if you are affected with this virus hepatitis A, once it is recovered, because the recovery speed is very very rapid, and it will be recovered within weeks here. So once you are affected with this disease, the immunity will last for lifetime. Coming to the environmental, so what are the environmental factors which are favoring this disease? So cases may occur throughout the year. But in India, it tends to be associated with periods of heavy rainfall. So even though the cases are appearing throughout the year, more number of cases can be seen in India at which periods? Mainly during the rainy periods. Coming to the mode of transmission, so as I said in the earlier, what was the excretory time for the virus? So mainly it is getting excreted in two ways. First one is through fecal matter, and second one is through urine. So if it is being excreted in fecal matter, it can survive for, it means the person is excreting 2 weeks before the onset of jaundice, and after 1 week 2 weeks after the onset of jaundice, means major route is mainly through fecal and oral route. So mainly by contaminated water, food and milk. So all these are fecal and oral routes. And coming to the parental route, so hepatitis A is rarely transmitted by parental route. Rarely. What is this parental route? So oral route is the major cause. Coming to the parental route, so how the parental route means? By blood and blood products, or by skin penetration through contaminated needles. So it is mainly associated with the healthcare personnel. So coming to the parental route, so mainly the more number of persons who are affected with this parental route is mainly the healthcare workers, mainly the frontline workers who are working with the patients. So if they are not following proper protection techniques, if a positive patient needle was pricked to the sister or any healthcare worker, then automatically these persons are developing the parental route. So what is the other route? First one is fecal and oral route, and next one is parental route, and it was very rare. Mainly it was to the healthcare personnel who were treating the persons. Coming to the sexual transmission, it may occur mainly among homosexual men. Why? Because it is because of oral and anal contact. So anal, it was mainly spread through oral route and anal route, mainly through feces and contaminated food and water. So in homosexuals, means mainly in the persons, in men to men sex. So what is happening? Because they are using the anal route and oral route for their sexual pleasure, so there is more chance of transmitting this hepatitis A virus. Coming to the incubation period of this hepatitis A virus, the incubation period is about 10 to 50 days. The incubation period is about mainly 10 to 50 days, and it is usually 25 to 30 days. So incubation period is generally 10 to 15 days, but in some persons it may take up to 25 to 30 days. Coming to the prevention and containment. So how you can prevent means mainly you have to control the reservoir. So what is the reservoir of infection here? So if you know what is the reservoir of infection, you can control the reservoir. So what is the reservoir of infection here? The reservoir of infection is mainly the human cases. So control of reservoir is difficult because of the following factors. So controlling of this reservoir is difficult. Why? Because I am going to discuss this. Fecal shedding is of the virus is the highest during the incubation period and early phase of illness. So when a person who is infected with this hepatitis A virus, incubation period is about, what is the incubation period is here, 10 to 50 days. It is about 10 to 50. So you cannot say that the person is positive for hepatitis A virus without evidence of serological examination, and moreover he is not exhibiting there any kind of signs and symptoms. So the only way to identify whether the patient is positive or negative is through serological examination. Since the patient is not exhibiting any kind of signs and symptoms, we are not doing any kind of serological tests. So what is happening? So it is very difficult to control the reservoir, because the person is capable of transmitting transmitting this infection before the onset of symptoms. So this is one of the factor for difficult factor for controlling the reservoir. And incubation during the and it is highest during the incubation period and early phase of illness. The occurrence of large number of subclinical cases. So there is large number of occurrence of subclinical cases and asymptomatic cases, and there is absence of specific treatment. So there is no specific treatment which is available for this hepatitis A virus. And the other one is low socio-economic profile of population which is usually involved. So where it is occurring, the persons who are having poor sanitary conditions, the persons who are having poor living standards, there the disease is usually more. So if they are economically in backward stage, so all the hygiene techniques are not followed by them, so that they are becoming more susceptible for this infection. Complete bed rest and disinfection of feces and fomites. So what you have to do, if you find any person who is infected with this hepatitis A, what you have to do, you have to give complete bed rest and you have to disinfect the feces and fomites. So since the patient is asymptomatic and you don't know whether he got infected or not, it is very difficult to do it. And the use of 5% sodium hypochlorite has been strongly recommended as an effective disinfectant. So the only way to prevent this one is to make the patient, whenever you came to know that the person is affected with this hepatitis A virus, you have to keep the patient in complete bed rest. You have to isolate them and you have to disinfect the articles which were used them, and you have to disinfect the fecal matter and fomites. And what you have to do, you have to use 0.5% of hypochlorite solution, and it was very highly recommended as an effective disinfectant for this hepatitis A virus. So coming to the control of transmission. So first we have discussed regarding the control of reservoir. Now I am going to discuss regarding the control of transmission. So how you can control the transmission of this hepatitis A virus means hand washing before eating and after toileting. So you have to wash your hands before eating and after toileting. Why you have to hand wash? Because the main route of spreading this infection is through oral route and fecal route. So if you are able to cut the chain in the oral route before eating anything, or after the usage of the after the defecation of feces, you are able to cut the chain of the infection. Next one is the sanitary disposal of excreta, which will prevent contamination of water, food and milk. So what was the sanitary disposal? What is the other thing is, to control this transmission, you have to dispose the excreta from the human in a proper manner. So whenever you are discarding, whenever you are disposing the excreta in a proper manner, you are not contaminating the water. See, in village areas and in other underdeveloped rural areas, what they will do, these people are more habituated to go for open defecation but not the indoor defecation. So whenever these people are going and defecating outside, if any person who is having this hepatitis A, the feces are capable of transmitting the disease from one person to another person. If these people are going and contaminating, if these people are doing their daily activities in those waters which it is used by all the person, automatically the other persons are also getting infection. So how you can control means, you have to dispose the excreta. You have to dispose the excreta in a proper manner and purify, so that what you are preventing the contamination of water, you are preventing the contamination of food, and you are preventing the contamination of milk. Next one is purification of community water supplies by flocculation. Mainly you have to do purification of the community water, because the community, you all people know that the water which is coming from the municipality taps only we are using nowadays. So what is happening, if anything is if any virus is entering and contaminating those water particles, so all that water will be drinking by the entire village or entire community there, so that all the persons are getting affected with the virus. So what you have to do, you have to purify the water to the extreme extent. You have to purify the water to the utmost extent, and filtration and adequate chlorination. What you have to do, you have to do adequate filtration and you have to do adequate chlorination. So coming to the control of susceptible population, what is coming to the control of susceptible population? For the first one is human immunoglobulin. So it is a well established procedure. It is used in normal human immunoglobulin prepared from a pooled plasma of healthy donors, nothing but gamma globulin, to induce passive immunity. It is recommended for, mainly we are recommending this human immunoglobulin for the patient. So whenever you are giving this human immunoglobulin, what it is doing, it is giving us the passive immunity. This passive immunity will protect us from the disease which is coming to us. This passive immunity, what it will do, the main job for this passive immunity is it will protect us from the diseases which are occurring. So to whom they are recommended means susceptible persons traveling to highly endemic areas. So if any health worker or any other persons, if they are traveling to the endemic areas, what are these endemic areas? These endemic areas means nothing but this infectious where the infected cases are more number in presence, where the infectious cases are more number in presence. So if the healthy individual is going for those patients, he has to be given this human immunoglobulin. And close and personal contacts of patients with HAV. So if you come to know that any person who is having HAV, all his close members, means all his peer group, must receive this human immunoglobulin. And next one is to the control of outbreaks in the institutions. Why they are stressing institutions? So institutions are the working places and school places. Institutions are nothing but working places and school places, where all the children and all the workers and all the others employees are being working there. If one person in the community is affected with the disease, he is capable of transmitting the disease to the other persons also, through either it can be a contact method, or either it can be a droplet method, or whenever they are shaking hands, if they are not following the proper sanitary techniques, so they are easily transmitting the disease from one person to another person. So you have to control the susceptible population. So this is the hepatitis A time course of infection. So this one is the hepatitis A time course of infection. So coming to the first, you will see viremia, means there is entry of the virus in the blood. So once the virus is entered, the virus will be excreted through the feces. So whenever the virus is being excreted, it is known as the incubation period. Then elevated transaminase will be there for at least for 8 to 9 weeks. Once the elevated transaminase is occurred, there is appearance of signs and symptoms. Again I am saying, when the virus had entered into your body, it will take some time for the development and maturation. So what is happening, the virus had entered into the blood, it will take 2 to 4 weeks to show for the total entry of virus into the blood. So viremia you can see at 2 to 4 weeks. So after 2 to 4 weeks, the incubation period will start in the body. So once the incubation period is started, it will start from the second week to until 6 or 7 weeks. So once the incubation period has been started, so means 10 days to 50 days. The incubation period is usually 10 to 50 days. So it can be from 10 to 50 days. So once the incubation period has started, what will do, the virus will develop in the body and it will increase its stamina to affect the patient. Once the power is reached for the virus to show the signs and symptoms, it will show the signs and symptoms of this hepatitis A, mainly jaundice. So at the fourth week, the IgM bodies will rise in peak, and after the fifth week, the IgG body will increase, which will give the immunity for the patient, and it will last for lifetime. And the next one is vaccines. So what are the vaccines? There are several inactivated or live attenuated vaccines are there against this hepatitis A, and they are developed, but only 4 inactivated hepatitis A vaccines are currently available internationally. So all 4 vaccines are similar in terms of efficacy and side effect profile. So all these 4 vaccines are very similar in their efficacy and their side effects. The vaccines are given parenterally as a 2-dose series, 6 to 18 months apart. So how the vaccine is given? It is given as a 2-dose series between 6 to 18 months. No vaccine is licensed for children less than 1 year. So there is no vaccine for the children who are less than 1 year. A combination of vaccine containing inactivated hepatitis A and recombinant hepatitis B vaccine has been licensed since 1996 for the use in children who are aged 1 year or older in several countries. So this hepatitis A vaccine, a combination of vaccine, it is containing inactivated hepatitis A and recombinant hepatitis B. So this vaccine got licensed in the year 1996 for the children who are about the age of 1 year and the other about the age of 1 year or older, 1 year age and above the 1 year age children. The combination of vaccine is given in as a 3-dose series using 0 means at the 0 month they are giving, at first month they are giving, at 6 months schedule they are giving. Means once the dose is received in 0 day, again the next dose will be given after 31 days, again after 6 months it will be, the other dose will be given. So these are the 3 doses of the series. So first dose will be given at 0 day, day 0, and the next dose will be given at day 32 or 31. So after that again it will be given after the 6 months, means 0 first month and 6 months of schedule. So this is regarding hepatitis A virus. So if you guys are having any problem with this topic, please let me know. So if there are any doubts, you can contact me through my WhatsApp. I will clarify you there. Thank you for listening.